Carson-Newman wins a third straight game and gets back in the win column on the road with an 89-60 win over Tusculum, a fourth straight win over the Pioneers. Andrew Rogers here with the head coach, Mike Mincey, on the Eagles Sports Network. Coach, what a shooting start to this one. Made 8 first quarter threes, made 12 in the first half. It ended with 15. How did that three-point shooting set the tone for your team to build a sizable lead in that first half and really give your team confidence throughout?
Well, I mean, I think we made 14 total field goals in the first half, and 12 of them were from the three. We made, 6 free throws, and that was the extent of our scoring in the first half. But credit to our players. You know, we've been harping on them all along. Not harping on them, but obviously it's been a topic of conversation of, you know, taking the game that we typically play at home, which is usually pretty good, and coming on the road and certainly doing much better than we have in the past. And I think the girls shot it freely. They know they have the green light. There's no one on our team that we tell that can't shoot the three or can't shoot, period. And they shot it well. That's what the defense was giving us. I thought every three-point shot, just about, I felt like that we took was open, and they certainly made them pay.
How contagious did it feel like when you were watching your offense operate? I think 6 different players made a three in that first quarter. Was that contagious? Did you feel that way when you saw so many different players knocking down those first?
I'm sure it is. I mean, the rims are a little soft here. They're pretty soft. I mean, you see one go down and another go down, and it just it's weird how that stuff happens, you know, because we've been on the road before to where we can't buy a bucket, and it just seems like it passes all the way down the team. And, you know, today I was a little bit worried early because we missed a couple of bunnies near the rim, shots that we should make. And then all of a sudden we turn around and make 12 threes from 22 feet. So, you know, every game's different. Every game's got its own set of different random events. And today's game called for us to hit 12 threes in the first half to carry a 20-point lead at the half.
Once you had a 14-0 run there late in the second quarter when Tusculum made it a single-digit game, you never got within single digits again.
Yeah.
Although at times they had some runs and had some momentum, but your team would pile up another run. How important was it to answer some of their scoring runs, both first and second half, to create and keep that separation above 20?
Well, you know, obviously when you're scouting your opponent, I've watched Tusculum all year long do that. You know, sometimes they've gotten up or sometimes they've gotten down, and they never like really don't get back. They get back in the game a lot. Like when they do get down, you know, they've got a bunch of talented offensive players that they have the ability. If we were to go cold and don't play clean, they can get back in the game, and they did. They got it to 9. Now that the game's over and we won, I can say that, wow, that really benefited us for them to cut it to 9 and then us call a timeout. And then we responded to get the game back up to a 20-point lead by the half. And then, of course, I think there was a time in the second half they got it to 14 or 15. And at that point, and girls back, like they're back in the game at that point to me. But we responded once again, had a great fourth quarter, outscored them by 12 in the fourth quarter, and was able to get everybody in. Everybody played, you know, good quality minutes. And I think everybody contributed for the win.
You made life difficult for the conference's top scorer, Nakia Chesterfield. She finishes with 10 points but missed 11 shots in her 15 attempts and turned the ball over 5 times. What do you credit Lindsay Taylor's defense and even Abigail Johnson that played some minutes against her as well to be able to limit what she was able to do for a second straight game as well?
Well, I think obviously Lindsay and Abba do a good job on the block for us to be able to guard other teams' bigs, and Chesterfield's a really talented player. Clearly, she's the number 1 scorer in our conference, and you know, there's a lot of different moves that she tries to go to get buckets, and so you got to credit Lindsay, you got to credit Abba, but we also at times brought a secondary defender to try to get the ball out of her hands. You know, it didn't really always work to get it out of her hands, but you know, we wanted her to feel another defender coming over there to see if we could limit her as best we could. And I mean, again, she still got the double figures, but it was on 4-15 shooting.
All right, so you got to go back on the road Saturday against a Wingate team, obviously, that will be trying to avenge a loss in Holt Fieldhouse a couple of weeks back. What's it take to carry momentum and a road win like this back on the road against Saturday against the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of our stuff today came out of the zone early in the first half, or a lot of it through the first half, I guess. Obviously, Wingate's more of a zone team this year, and they're one of the best defensive teams in our league in terms of points per game given up. And it's going to be at Cuddy. Everybody knows it's tough to play down there. It'll be a battle between second and third place. And the game that happened at Carson-Newman where we won by that margin, that's a one-game deal. You know, like I don't expect that to be down there. I expect it to be obviously a nip and tuck type game between 2 really good basketball teams. And you know, if we don't bring it, it could get ugly on our part. But I think this game, being able to get on the road, get a win over your arch rival can, I hope, give us a lot of confidence as we go back on the road on Saturday.